yay. Okay, so blue team, they have banned out Master Yi, Rengar, and Kha'Zix. Well, I don't understand the Rengar ban, but Master Yi and Kha'Zix are very, very strong bans at the moment. I'm assuming Rengar is a target ban. If it's not, I would question why they're banning Rengar. There's a lot of strong champions in the game right now, and I just don't see why you would be wasting that ban slot on Rengar. Personal preference, but just I have that question for them. In terms of picks, they then have a Nidalee mid, a Renekton top, a Udyr jungle, and a Morgana Caitlyn bot lane. Comment number 1 is that why do you have exhaust on your supports? You always run double heal at the moment. Same for mid lane. Heal is better than barrier at the moment, I feel. Like barrier's fine, but I would have expected him to run heal. Udyr jungle's fine, but you have to get ahead. You need to land your ganks or you're going to fall off. Renekton very, very potent at the moment. Other than that, yeah, good team overall because you're going to be trying to lock people down with either Udyr or Morgana. Renekton's going to be a beefy tank lizard, and then Nidalee and Caitlyn are going to poke and kite. So overall, their team is fine. I have no real complaints of their comp. On the split side, they have banned out Ryze, Wukong, and Fizz. Again, Fizz ban seems a little odd. Fizz is not very popular right now, and Fizz is a little on the weaker side. If you wanted to ban something out, you could have banned out LeBlanc, you could have banned out Thresh if you wanted to ban out a support, although they did pick him. I don't know, it just seems a little odd of a ban to me. In the meantime, they picked up Malzahar mid, Jax top, Zac jungle, Thresh, and Sivir bot lane. Thresh and Sivir have huge kill potential. A hook into a full boomerang blade is a crazy amount of damage early game. And you can still hook in even if there is a black shield on a target. So if they're standing close together and you land a hook onto someone who's black shielded, you just pull in and you land your flay across both of them. So it actually works out pretty much in your favor. I'm going to keep going over the picks and bans here because I didn't quite get to finish before the game started. Ooh, I swapped to the wrong mode here. 1 second. Okay, perfect. So we are loading in here. I'll just wait till things are in play. Zac jungle is a little odd to me. Zac has started to see a little bit more play. It's not that he's a weak pick. It's just that Feral Flare is so very potent right now, and you're picking a jungler who doesn't abuse it. So that seems an odd choice, but maybe he just really likes Zac, really wants to play him, and in that case, fine, do what you want. That's totally cool. Jax is quote-unquote countered by Renekton, but the current meta, at least in competitive play, is to accelerate the game with early tower pushes, with early lane rotations. I don't expect to see that happening in solo queue or in lower rated games such as these workshops. So it's going to be on them to make sure that Jax does not get shut down, to make sure that he can survive with his team until mid to late game once he has his core items. Once he has his Blade of the Ruin King, once he has his Trinity Force, he's going to be able to lay down a hell of a lot of pain. The question is he going to be able to get onto Nidalee and Caitlyn, or Caitlyn, I should say, and is he going to be able to actually kill them? Because you do have to remember that heal is very powerful right now in terms of the escape potential. It removes the healing debuffs, it gives you a nice move speed buff, it outscales barrier in terms of the amount it heals. So it's really going to be a lot of pressure on him to be able to lock down these targets and kill them. He may be going in with a Zac as a sort of a dive buddy, and if they play that properly, I like their sort of wombo combo, because Zac is going to jump onto grouped targets like a little mini Malphite ult, bounce around while Jax is cleaning up, Thresh is going to hook priority targets, Malzahar is going to ult anyone who comes at him. Ideally, Malzahar with a full combo should be able to one-shot absolutely anyone on the enemy team. He's going to need them in range, and he's going to need time to set up that combo. But if he's acting as Peel, he should be able to take care of Udyr. So I would expect Malzahar sort of sticking with Sivir, Thresh CCing priority targets, and Zac and Jax sort of being dive buddies. Or that's at least what I would expect to happen in the ideal circumstances. So we'll see how well they play that combo and how well they're able to set things up. Neither team has a decisive advantage where, like, okay, you get one kill, GG, you just snowball from there. Both teams have the potential to counter each other. It's just going to boil down to how well they play it. Now, we are finished sort of the initial rundown. I believe one of them was going to reconnect after loading in just because they were switching computers. So we might have a slight pause here. So if you guys have any questions, feel free to ask now, and I'll try and take care of them before we get into the actual match.
Hey, Pro, do you need me by any chance?
Oh, that's actually perfect. I was actually just looking for someone to shoutcast.
Okay, yeah, well, I'm here.
Okay, give me 2 seconds. I'm just going to audio balance you so that people can actually hear you. Okay, perfect. Should be fine now if you want to say something.
Alright, hi guys. Spectating your match now.
Okay, perfect. Yeah, we're just loading in. I believe one of them is just going to reconnect on their other computer, and then we should be good to go. Tucson was asking, or sorry, commenting, saying that he thinks the exhaust is for Jax. Yeah, that's perfectly fine. I actually like taking exhaust if I'm versus a lot of assassins, but generally you want to use it versus people who just blow an entire combo in a very short period of time. So people like Zed or Talon who need to be able to finish someone off with their initial combo, exhaust is a very good choice versus. But versus Jax, I think the double heal probably would be better because you're going to have more lane presence, you're going to have more chase and more peel options. It's just so powerful right now as just sort of a combo. It does so much.
Yeah, I agree. I absolutely love double heal in lane.
Oh, I've been abusing it like crazy recently. I've actually started playing on the Latin American servers because I get like half the ping there. And I believe I was 11 wins, 0 losses with support Morgana. It was just ridiculous. It was so much fun.
It looks like purple team has a really like strong comp to engage onto blue team. While blue team might want to like hang back in the majority of the fights and try and get like a Morgana snare or some Nibley spears. So if purple team can get like that wombo combo off on blue team with, Zac and Thresh and Jax, they can do really well in team fights, I think.
I was actually commenting earlier that I think the ideal combo for purple team is if Jax and Zac sort of form dive buddies where they're trying to go in on anyone who's grouped priority targets and take them out. I would expect Malzahar to actually act as peel because a late game Malzahar should be able to lock down and one-shot pretty much anyone, such as an Udyr running at Sivir. So I would expect him to sort of do peel duty for Sivir, and then Thresh can act as interruption for priority targets, landing those hooks, landing those flays. Because if they can get the Zac and Jax rolling in terms of just diving into the enemy team, I think that would be a really good sort of setup.
Oh yeah, that'll be really strong because like both Jax and Zac are so tanky. So even if they do just like go 2v5 into the team fight for a while, I mean they can survive for a good bit.
hmm they do have to keep in mind, though, that blue team is forced to poke. They have a Nidalee, they have a Caitlyn, they have a Morgana. So if they're able to stall out fights and just sort of siege for a while, they can make some crazy good picks for themselves. In terms of starting builds, everything's pretty much standard. Unfortunately, no one paused the game. Morgana was restarting and just like swapping computers. No one paused, so she's not in lane. In the future, I would suggest people in the workshops, make sure you're pausing if there is something like this, so that they have a chance to reconnect.
Um, Up in top, Renekton putting a lot of damage onto Jax and then walking towards purple creeps and taking more damage from the creeps than he actually did from his laning opponent. So I think in the future, especially with top lane, you have to be aware of like where the creeps are in the lane when you're about to hit the other person. Because early creeps hurt so much.
Oh, for sure, yeah. If you're fighting against minions, you may as well be just fighting a jungle gank. The amount of damage they do is as much as a champion if you're in the full wave.
Oh yeah.
Alright, so Morgana has reconnected. She hasn't bought anything yet, so I don't know, this is still slightly concerning. Zac trying to loop around top lane. It looks like Renekton does know. He has a ward in there, so he's just going to back out. Hopefully Zach will not waste too much time here. I want him to just go back to farming because he is spotted out. He's not going to get anything. Alright, there
Okay,
comes the
there we
pause.
go. Yeah. Yeah, I think for junglers, as soon as you see the opponent top lane just like walking really back far, um, I think you should just really just move on because it's a bit of a waste of time. And they unpaused. Morgana is coming back.
A pretty standard start on her. She had the extra gold from being AFK essentially, so she's opted to go for a fairy charm potion and a couple. A ward and a couple potions. I I don't agree with the fairy charm. Morgana is not that mana hungry in lane. I would have expected her to go either boots or maybe even like a cloth armor, just so that she could try and stand up in this lane until she can get a few points into her skills.
Also up in top lane, Renekton doing so much damage onto Jax, but Jax putting down his ignite and getting first blood. That was really good on Jax. He took a couple of hits from Renekton and got really low and just turned around and was like, nope, I can hit you back.
That's actually really scary for Renekton because Renekton should be winning technically early laning phase and then trying to shut down the ticking time bomb of Jax. With him getting first blood, with him being ahead a couple minions and going to be getting ahead even more, that's not something you want to see as a Renekton player. Bind's not quite connecting bot lane. Neither does a hook though, so it looks like they're just going to lay down some poke and just sort of go even there. We see a same thing with other jungler, just sort of trying to do lane ganks, trying to set up plays, when honestly at this stage of the game, you're probably better just farming.
And Udyr's not very he's not very known for his ganks. Udyr's more of a farm jungle either way, so
On Udyr, I would expect to see you ganking when they're shoved underneath your own tower. You come in behind them through river and you kill them. That's sort of your only gank option as him. It's a kill jungler. It's not a ganking jungler.
although Caitlyn was 2v1 for like a good majority of this game, she's still not very behind in CS.
And that's actually pretty rare to see. Oh, I'm not sure what she was doing there. She just sort of stopped and tanked 3 people. I'm not sure if that was lag or typing or what, but that's definitely something you want to keep an eye out for when you are playing. Make sure that you're always paying attention to the game. You're not just sort of getting caught out. I mean, we're all guilty of it from time to time, but it's not something you want to have happening. Alright, so Zach has already used his jump. If Udyr is able to get onto him here, this could be a very easy kill. We see the ghost going down. He sort of stutter steps a little bit though, so he should be able to get this. He gets the passive. I see Malzahar, good reaction trying to come down here. If I were him, yeah, just take this as quickly as possible, but he's not going to be able to finish it off. He hesitated far too long. Like right now, he can just go for this kill. And instead, he gives a kill over to Morgana. Sorry, to... Whoa. Sorry, to Malzahar.
That was a really good suppression from Malzahar, like over the wall. That was amazing.
It was very well played, yes. Now, that being said, though, Udyr had about 3 different opportunities to kill Zac there. You know they're ganking you, you know you're going to be caught out. Why not take the kill?
Also, up in top lane, surprisingly, Renekton has been able to kill Jax despite his first blood lead.
Now, that being said, there's a lot more outplay potential when you're facing a Jax than when you're playing a Renekton. Unless Renekton just massively misses all of his skills, you don't really outplay him, you just survive him.
And even despite the first blood advantage Jax has, Renekton is still such a strong early top laner.
We just need to see, though, if he's able to turn that into pressure across the game, or even in just his own lane. Because if you're just going to trade kills back and forth, you're not using that lane bully status to any real effect. So we see Malzahar taking away his blue. I'm actually surprised to see this lane isn't more shoved out towards Nidalee. Just because Malzahar, his main priority in lane is just pretty much drop my diseases on the creeps and then just go farm, or go roam. So we see very good damage trades coming out from Renekton. Honestly, Jax could have returned that damage relatively easily, but I think he's just a little bit scared of the bully potential that he has here and just doesn't want those fights.
Yeah, it's very hard to decide top end whether or not you're going to like fight your opponent or harass your opponent. I think a lot of people just get intimidated, and the best advice for that is just really know your champion, I think. Like, know what you can get away with
Mhm.
against most matchups.
Yeah, I don't know if you're catching these trades, but basically all Renekton's doing is every time Jax goes for creep and he has full cooldowns up, he dashes forward, stuns, uses his Q, and then dashes back through minions. And in the meantime, Jax isn't even trying to return that damage. Obviously, yes, you're stunned, but if you're just going to take free damage, that's going to continue going against you. Unfortunately, Zac not connecting with his knock-up. And so this Renekton's going to get even more pressure in this lane. He's pulling the jungler up there constantly. He's winning lane in terms of farm and pressure. So just really good job here for this Renekton.
And the reason we saw Jax getting first blood from the beginning was that he turned around and gave Renekton as good as he got. You know what I mean? So
Hmm. And that's what
I
he
think
needs
if
to be
something like
doing.
that, oh yeah, if that works out for you top lane, then just keep doing it.
Even if you're going to lose the trade, you still need to try and even it out as best you can. Because taking 300 damage and dealing 0 is not nearly as good as taking 400 damage and returning 2. Like 200. Because at least then you're getting some damage back onto them.
Zach's still trying to gank top. Looks like this gank might be successful. No, Renekton turns around and the flash going down onto Renekton. The Zac ulti. Will that be enough? Not too sure. Zac getting really low. Jax continuing to tower dive.
Yeah, he's going to die here.
Um, and
That was a
yeah, we
very
just
poor
saw him.
dive decision.
Oh yeah, we saw him just standing under tower for a good and a
Oh.
double kill for Renekton.
Okay, I'm not sure. They just said something in chat. Oh, apparently he couldn't move.
Okay, yeah, that would make sense.
Either way, that was a very poor decision to do that dive. It's a Renekton. He has his ult. I would not suggest trying to dive or go that ham on a gank. Like the flash ult coming out from Zac. You're not going to be able to instantly kill him. If I were him, I would be trying to land that similar gank either bot or mid, where the targets are squishy enough that a full combo will kill them.
Oh yeah, the flash is definitely not worth it. Like you said, unless you know 100% you're going to kill them or like have a huge impact.
Now we're about 11 into the game. I want to see some teams starting to get some Dragon Vision, but just because it becomes such an easy, free objective at this stage of the game. And I want to see that taken anytime they see Zac top lane like he has been, or someone going back to base. Because as soon as you know you have a numbers advantage, that makes it a completely free objective. We see the Thresh Lantern coming in onto this Morgana. I'm very surprised that, yeah, for some reason Malzahar didn't decide to ult Morgana. Oh, I just rewinded the game, unfortunately. Alright.
So lots of damage going down into Thresh. But it looks like Purple Team will have a relatively easy. They're in a really good position just to do Dragon right now.
They do have to keep in mind, though, the poke potential from the Caitlyn, Morgana, and Nidalee. The number of times I've seen, especially in low elo, where a team tries to do Dragon with no pink ward, and then Nidalee just spear steals it. Alright, so Jack's getting taken really low here. I would be surprised if Renekton does not dive this. He has full fury, there's the dive, and a free kill for him. As soon as you have Tiamat finished on Renekton, you can cancel out your stun, so that you don't have to stand still for the whole time. In the meantime, they do take down Zac as well, bot lane. And so this is going really, really well for blue team now. They're 5-2, and I'm surprised they didn't go for Dragon, though, because they still had decent health. Instead, they're opting to steal away the enemy blue team, the purple team's blue buff. And that will help definitely with shutting down the Malzahar, making sure he can't just constantly push and get free pressure.
Yeah, I agree. Especially with a jungler like Udyr, like we've been saying, he's not very good for ganks, but he can do Dragon incredibly fast. So with Zac top, Just a ping from Udyr would be enough. And we see a Malzahar ult going down onto Renekton, not being able to kill him. Renekton is so incredibly tanky.
That being said, this is exactly what I would expect to see Malzahar playing his role as in late game. Oh.
Wow,
That
getting
was
so
very good.
low. Yeah.
That was very, very well played. But yeah, that's the role I would expect to see Malzahar playing late game once he has his Liandry's Void Staff, that sort of stuff. I would expect him to just be dealing with anyone trying to run into the team, because a fully set up combo like that is going to kill pretty much anyone. Alright, Zac trying to cycle down bot lane again. You see Caitlyn getting out. All that's left here is Morgana. I don't think they're going to go for that. But again, they know that Caitlyn has left lane. I'm not sure why they're not taking Dragon right now. This would be a completely free opportunity. There's no one to stop you. That pink ward from blue team is actually working really, really well for them, just because no one is able to get in there long enough to clear it. Looks like Sivir is going to go for it now, knowing that Caitlyn's not in lane. But having that pink ward there, assuming you are with your AD carry and you have the pressure to defend it, can last for a very, very long time. So Renekton is snowballing top very, very well. At this point, he's also taking away enemy jungle golems at the same time. So that way he builds up his experience advantage, he builds up his gold advantage, and is just able to completely decimate this Jax every opportunity he gets. Okay, so Nidalee's sieging around Dragon here. Looks like she's going to try and come bot lane, but unless they're... There it is. Okay, I have a complaint with Morgana there. She landed the binding. Nidalee unfortunately did miss her spear, but Morgana did not immediately follow with the ult. You are guaranteed to land your ult while they're snared because the channel time. They could have set that up much, much easier, I feel. Very nice stun onto Malzahar, keeping him in that turret. So good job cancelling out the push on mid, and in the meantime Caitlyn is going to get bottom as a result. Purple team just seems to be playing very responsively, where something happens on the map, they go, oh crap, we need to stop that, and then they try and react. And at that point it's usually too late, or there's a second thing happening on the map that they're then not noticing. So for example, purple team tried to push mid. They tried to make a play for themselves. So then blue team just said, okay, we're going to do two things. We're going to stop you pushing that, we're going to take bot tower, and we're going to pressure top to make sure that Jax can't leave or join or surprise us in any way. And now they're then turning that pressure bot lane into a free dragon. That's how you want to play solo queue. You want plays to turn into extra bonus plays when they work. You need to be planning a few steps ahead usually. And purple team just doesn't seem to be on the same page when it comes to stopping these.
I also think what we see here from both teams is we see a lack of like objective taking, knowing when to take objectives, knowing when to take dragon, knowing when to leave towers.
Yeah, now that's the fight that I wanted to see Zac's aiming for, where you can just walk in and ult or knock up Nidalee, and that can set up a free Malzahar ult. As soon as you get the Malzahar ult on, she can't heal herself, she can't jump away, and you're going to get it for free. Very nice ult and flash coming out from Morgana, just barely avoiding the final auto attack that would have taken her down. Wasted flash coming in from Caitlyn, though. Not able to chase down Sivir.
Yeah, if she hadn't used her ult in the last fight with Morgana, where she died at tower, she would have been able to kill Sivir there. I didn't really agree with Caitlyn using her ult in that case, just because that the Thresh was right in front of Sivir the entire time, and I don't even think it connected with Sivir.
Yeah, Thresh could have easily blocked it. I do have a complaint, though, that every time I look, Zac is still not landing his jumps. If you can't land your elastic slingshot, it's called. If you can't land your slingshot, then there goes half your engage potential and a lot of your damage, because it's setting up your full combo.
We see some pressure going down mid lane from blue team. I don't know how well they're going to be able to get this tower just because of the clear coming in from Malzahar and Jax being able to defend.
That being said, though, they do have the poke. Yeah, they have the poke team. So this is the kind of play that blue team really wants. They want to siege, but avoid getting engaged on. So that's going to require very careful positioning from them, and good map awareness to know how the enemy team is cycling and how they're trying to set up these fights. Malzahar goes way too close. I'm assuming he was trying to initiate with an ult, but that's not the person you want initiating. You want Zac jumping in, followed by Jax. A good hook going down.
Amazing Thresh hook there, and
that's what happens if
purple
purple
team getting so incredibly low, but Morgana and Nidalee will not be able to clean up.
And that's exactly what happens if they land that engage we keep talking about, where they just cleaned up 4 for 1. They might even get Morgana.
So strong.
Oh, the burn. Good job, Morgana.
Wow.
In the meantime, Jax is getting a lot of farm down bot lane. If he's able to turn that into a completed Blade of the Ruined King or a completed Triforce, I would expect to see him finally being able to have a huge impact in this game. Like right now, it's not that he's not been useful, it's just that he's not having the impacts you want a Jax to have. This is interesting. Instead of finishing up to a full Hydra, Renekton has gone full tank now. He has his finished Randuin's, and he looks to be going towards a Banshee's Veil or a Spear Visage. I'm not sure which option he's going to go for, but I'm just surprised to see him build so tanky so early. I would have expected to see sort of Udyr going that build path, but instead we see the exact opposite with him going Feral Flare and an early Zephyr Rush.
Yeah, the Zephyr is interesting.
I'm assuming he just doesn't want to be kited, but a Zephyr really isn't going to make that much difference to that. A good binding going on, but unfortunately it goes on to the tank. Renekton is very beefy, as we mentioned before.
Blue team is kiting pretty well, but Morgana and Udyr are taking so much damage. Udyr living through it, taking down Malzahar, and I honestly wouldn't have agreed with that engage just because of blue team's composition, but it went out really well.
Yeah, that was surprisingly well executed. I did have a complaint that Morgana saved her ult for a very long time. She didn't use her ult until she was already at about 2 or 300 health, and I'm incredibly surprised that Purple Team didn't just burst her as soon as she started using it. Generally speaking on Morgana, you want to use your ult at the very start of the fight so that you can complete it before you die, or you want to have your hourglass completed. Those are really your only two options. You're not generally going to be able to survive in the middle of a team for your full ult duration unless you have hourglass. In this case, though, they were able to pull it off, and were able to set that up. We have some chat here talking about apparently Thresh is raging. That is not permitted in any way. These are community workshop games, so if you are going to be raging, if you're going to be upset with bad teammates, anything like that, you're not welcome in these games. So if you do have screenshots of that, feel free to send it to either myself or Brian, and we'll be able to deal with him in the future.
Yeah, this is a learning experience, guys. You shouldn't really get too upset about it. Everyone's just trying to become a better player. Not too sure if I agree with the talisman coming in from Morgana. Like you said, she really should finish her Zonias. Or even sometimes a support Morgana. If I know I can't finish Zonias and I just want to build a support item, I typically go for something more tanky. Something that'll give me health and help me survive. And it does look like Sivir, I think, DC'd.
No, she was talking. Thresh is apparently raging, and so they're all commenting on it rather than playing the game. As much as it sucks that
Okay.
apparently Thresh is raging, just it's not worth acknowledging. Just go ahead and play your game, do the best you can to win, to pull off some good plays, and that way we can continue trying to offer advice. And for now, our advice is don't engage trolls.
Oh yeah, especially in solo queue, just mute them.
Yep.
Um,
Looks like they are cycling up to top lane here. This would be a very easy tower for them to get, but I would like to see... Oh, never mind. Good job. I was going to say that I want to see a little bit more warding coming up. They already have 2 key wards down in this area, and it looks like Uter and Nidalee are going to be able to continue keeping Purple Team in that area while they get their fight down top lane. Good pickup onto that Jax. Good communication.
we really could see blue team ending the game right now.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, they have every opportunity to. It looks like they're going to go for the double inhib instead, which I actually agree with only because Jax is up in 20 seconds and the rest of the enemy team is alive. We've mentioned many times that blue team doesn't have the ideal hard engage. They're more reliant on poke and kite. So again, here we see Zac is able to get in range. They take down Uter almost immediately. Nidalee taken very low but not quite dying. Morgana, again, starting her ult very, very late. But it works for them. I'm just very surprised to see no one focusing down the Morgana before she uses her ult. If you kill her before the ult goes off, boom, you've just taken out a huge potential of blue team to lock you down and win team fights.
Some ping is going down on Baron right now. Blue team is being incredibly safe. They did take the double inhibitor, and they do want to take Baron.
Yeah, as much as I would like to see them take a Baron and end the game, they do need to keep in mind that they don't have that many wards down. They have a couple good wards in the red side of Purple Team jungle, but they don't have full vision on where Purple Team is cycling to. Like, they need to be going as a team if they're going to Baron. They can't just solo it. Uter, at this point, has a huge, huge Baron potential with his Feral Flare, Zephyr, and Wit's End. He has crazy damage but no tankiness, and unfortunately, that is making him have some issues in these team fights, but it's not mattering when Renekton is this beefy and when Caitlyn is this fed.
Yeah, I'm hoping that Renekton just backs and they all head to Baron again.
Mm-hmm.
Not quite sure why I think Nidalee and Caitlyn decided to do it alone.
Again, I really don't care for you to argue about who is the one trolling right now. If you have screenshots, feel free to send them through after the game. Right now, you just need to focus on playing your match out. So Jax is very, very caught out. They're going to immediately take him down, and that's going to be a free Baron for blue team now. I don't know why Jax was in there. That was a very poor decision on his part.
I don't think he realized the team was there, and I think he was trying to get a ward on it by going around. I'm not really sure.
Yeah, you need to be warding over the wall if you don't know where they are, though. That's the issue.
We're kind of just hanging around and scaring this Malzahar and Sivir away. But purple team got it? I completely missed that.
Oh, Malzahar got it.
Oh my god. Wow.
Okay. Yeah, you need to be careful with your smites. Like, there's always the chance that someone can land just a silly steal like that. And I don't know what their thinking was, but they missed their smite, and there goes Baron. That being said, they should still be able to end the game here. I need to see blue team moving up for this mid-inhib. Right now, though, the carries are alone. If Jax or, let's say Jax and Thresh were able to engage immediately with Malzahar there, they would have been able to pop both carries and maybe turn that into a one-team fight. In the meantime, though, they are fine. They've taken away both inhibs. Unfortunately, don't have Baron, so that's not on the map at the moment. So I want to see them go back, get their final purchase, and start sieging down bot. They're more than welcome to take away Dragon first, which it looks like they're doing.
Those two would be the safest bet, just taking Dragon and then pushing what's left of bot.
As I was mentioned in solo queue, like, the mid inhib is down, and you see a team trying to essentially ARAM it up mid, and it's like, why are you doing this? There's nothing for us to take there. If we win a team fight in mid, okay, we might be able to get one base turret, or we could go top, get 2 turrets, a team fight, and then an inhib. Like, come on, guys. So that's always something for you guys to keep in mind if you are playing in solo queue. So Renekton's going back. I'm assuming he has some item that he wants to finish, but honestly, he could have just kept pushing bot. He had almost full health.
Yeah, it does look like what you said happened in solo queue is happening right now. They're just kind of pushing mid a little blindly. They could be pushing top as well, or just trying to get that inhib. Yeah, pings are going down onto top inhib, but I'm not quite sure why they're still mid.
Yeah, I don't know. I really just want to see them ending here. That was a very poor decision to back there. He is able to make it out.
And they are going to be cycling top that inhib. Malzahar, though, with his home guard, will be incredibly fast. Kind of engaging in by himself, but getting in ult onto Morgana. I'm not quite sure if I agree with that. Udi are able to pick up the kill on him. Morgana is zoning and ults, but it looks like she will get low and die to Sivir. Not quite sure where Nidalee was that fight. Caitlyn was obviously getting the towers down in mid. But
It's just
I
sloppy.
don't know if I agree with that. Yeah, that was really sloppy and not well communicated by blue team.
Both teams really were very sloppy in that fight. Like they're both sort of throwing away advantages that they could get very easily. They could have collapsed on purple side and won that fight more cleanly and possibly been able to push out with it. Or, on the split side, blue team could have just stuck together and ended the game right there. Oh, free mana cupcakes.
This is the best.
It's so satisfying because you're just like walking along. Oh no, there's a trap. Nom nom nom.
She can do it with Nidalee's traps too. Not quite sure what Morgana's trying to do here. She's just gonna get snare.
She does have her finished Hourglass. It's coming off of cooldown soon, so I want to see her using her combo effectively this time and not waiting until the last possible moment to use that ultimate. So if you want into the next workshop game, please make sure you have followed the instructions and are in the proper chat rooms in order to play. Brian is going to start the invites for the next game, so if you get an invite from someone named Felbrick, please accept them so that we can take care of this as quickly as possible. For those asking about giveaways, it will be started at the end of this match. We're in the match right now, so I can't turn it on. Alright, so they're taking down top inhib now. Again, they need to just sort of stick as 5. Right now they're very, very split up. They should be able to just end the game right here. But they're not really doing so.
No, Nidalee and Caitlyn were incredibly behind down in mid, and Caitlyn, for some reason, trying to get an ult into one of their teammates, almost dying. Not quite sure why she was so close to Thresh and Zac, but hey, it works out, and Udyr picks up a double kill.
Yeah, they're very far ahead right now, and they can make this work for them. But again, they're just throwing away free kills. They're throwing away free objectives. They could have ended the game 5 different ways by now. Alright, Caitlyn should be able to get... Yeah. 1. Nidalee's going to get the second. Oh, she actually pounces the wrong way, so she's going to be taken down. And there we go. So they're able to stall it out yet again. The respawn timers are actually long enough at this point, and the inhib top is respawn. So I want to see Sivir shoving down mid. They might be able to get the inner mid turret, or they might be able to take Baron. It's in 30 seconds. The enemy team will have started to respawn. It just depends on how decisive the teams are going to be.
Again, I'm not quite sure why Nidalee and Caitlyn were mid alone by themselves, and I'm not quite sure why blue team decided to engage without their 2 main damage dealers. I mean, if you see your carries hanging back like that, you need to ping them and tell them to get into the fight or just not engage at all.
Mm-hmm. And we've seen them do that a number of times now, where Caitlyn's just off trying to be her own beastly self, and Nidalee is just a little bit out of position. So I don't know if they're just not on the same page, if they're not wanting to work together, but that is something they need to work on. So apparently the game has ended now, so I'm assuming this is going to be the final push. Good spell shield. Zac again is completely alone. He's off trying to clear a ward on Baron, and I don't know, I think he's going to get out, but it just concerns me that he's always alone. He's always getting caught like this. That's a good hook. Sorry, Lantern.
Mm-hmm. But it just looked like Jax would be caught out instead, trying to go in and help
Yeah, Jax
Zac.
tried to go aggressive. And now Zac is again trying to
Sivir
recall.
getting caught out, and yeah, it really looks like purple team here was just caught out, and
Yeah, there's just a series of bad decisions. There was no reason for Zac to be down there. Yes, you want to get Baron vision, but you can't suicide for it. Your team's not there. You don't have the positioning advantage. They then did a rather good escape with his jump with the Lantern, and then Jax just walked in and suicided. Well, Zac is already out of the fight. The Lantern is already used. Like, your team is entirely split low and cannot fight. So that was just a very poor decision on his part to jump back in. I'm not sure why that was decided that way, but that's perfectly fine. That is the end to the game, and we get a double explosion apparently.
we also saw Sivir going in, possibly to ulti Jax and maybe help him get out. But in situations like that, when you're playing an AD carry like Sivir or like Tristana where you can help your team, sometimes you just have to leave them because you're the AD carry and you have to look like for yourself above anyone else, honestly.
For sure. Now, before we go into commentation, apparently NeoJet sent me a mystery gift, so thank you very much for Hired Gun Lucian. I really appreciate it. The message was, love what you do, keep it up. Thank you very much, NeoJets. In the meantime, I'll have you go over the itemization there, please, and then I will go ahead and turn on the RP giveaway. Are you there? Okay, I'm not sure if your mic is not working. I
Oh,
get.
sorry. No, I'm right here.
Okay, perfect. I'll have you go over itemization and final build order and stuff. I'm going to go ahead and turn on the RP giveaway.
Okay. I would have liked to see Morgana build the Zonias a lot faster. If you see yourself getting behind as Morgana like that, you really just need to either build something tanky to help you out in team fights, like a any tanky support item, or just rush your Zonia's Hourglass. We were talking about Udyr's build. It was a little strange. I didn't agree with the Zephyr, the early Zephyr, and I'm not quite sure how I feel about the Guardian Angel. I think Udyr, like, he benefits so much from tanky items. He benefits so much from Randuin's and Sunfire Cape and Spirit Visage, those kind of items. Overall, Renekton's build looks completely fine. Caitlyn looks good as well. Pretty standard AD carry build. Let's see. Jax with a Thornmail, that's pretty interesting. I guess I do agree with it since, Udyr, Renekton, Caitlyn. But I think that could have been, I think that gold could have been itemized a little better than a Thornmail. Let's see. Overall, I think it's pretty good. Didn't see Thresh use his Mikhail's Crucible too often. And I didn't really see either supports really using their Talisman either. Maybe that was just an oversight on my part, but I think as support, if you're going to buy an item that has a active, you want to use it as like every time it's up. Just try and use it for your team.
For sure, yeah. Proper talisman usage is a huge thing for support players because it's a 60-second cooldown. So that's every 2 waves of farm you can set it up.